Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams with the news at 9. The headlines. Government announces release of 20 lakh tons of wheat from FCI for sale in the open market to ease prices of the grain. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges citizens to participate in Best Tourism Village competition to promote local art and culture. Production of high-end pharmaceuticals and medical devices being stepped up to reduce import dependency, says Union Minister Mansukh Mandavia. Russia decides to suspend participation in New START treaty for nuclear arms control with the United States. And India's young shooter Rudraksh Balasaheb Patil wins gold medal at ISSF Shooting World Cup in Egypt. The centre has announced the release of 20 lakh tons of wheat from the Food Corporation of India in the open market for sale through e-auction. The reduction in reserve price along with the additional offloading of 20 lakh tons of wheat will collectively help in reducing the market price of wheat and wheat products for consumers. Earlier, the Committee of Ministers under the chairmanship of Home Minister Amit Shah had decided to release 30 lakh tons of wheat for sale through e-auction to flour mills, private traders, buyers and manufacturers of wheat products. The Consumer Affairs Ministry said so far it has been decided to offload 50 lakh tons of wheat under the Open Market Sales Scheme 2023. The ministry said after the announcement of the scheme, the prices of wheat and atta have come down. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged citizens, particularly youngsters, to take part in the Best Tourism Village competition. In a tweet today, the Prime Minister asked them to showcase the country's great tourism potential. The core aim of the competition is to honour villages that preserve and promote local art, culture and lifestyle. It will also evaluate several other areas including the economic, environmental and social sustainability, infrastructure and connectivity, health and security. The competition will be organised at district, state and national levels. Minister of Chemicals and Fertilizers Dr. Mansukh Mandavia has said the government is focusing on production of high-value pharmaceuticals and high-end medical devices to reduce import dependency. He added that manufacturing components of high-end medical devices in the country will be another big step in moving towards Atmanirbharta. Dr. Mandavia stated this in New Delhi while appreciating the efforts of the applicants selected under the Production-Linked Incentive PLI scheme. The Department of Pharmaceuticals has released the first tranche of incentives under the PLI scheme of pharmaceuticals amounting to 166 crores to 4 selected applicants. Under the Atmanirbharta initiative of the government, the Department of Pharmaceuticals launched the PLI scheme for pharmaceuticals in 2021. The financial outlay under this scheme is 15,000 crores over a period of 6 years. Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh today discussed ways to enhance defence industrial cooperation with the United Kingdom in a telephonic conversation with its Secretary of State for Defence Ben Wallace. The Defence Ministry stated that the conversation was cordial, positive and focused on the future growth of the bilateral defence relationship. It said both the ministers discussed a wide range of defence and security issues, including regional developments and the Indo-Pacific. Briefly reviewing their ongoing defence cooperation, the ministers expressed satisfaction with their bilateral military-to-military engagements. A few potential areas of cooperation were also identified. During their conversation, Mr. Singh suggested that the UK companies should become part of India's growth story and participate in co-development and co-production in India. The Centre today approved the Quality Control Order for mandatory certification of cotton bales. Presiding over the 5th interactive meeting with the Textile Advisory Group in New Delhi, Textiles, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal stressed branding of Indian cotton and adding great value to the entire cotton value chain, from farmers to consumers. Mr. Goyal pointed out that the quality of Indian cotton fibre is beneficial for farmers and industry. Skill Development and Entrepreneurship Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has said India is setting up a digital university which will drastically reduce the cost of higher education and skill education. He said this will also increase accessibility to a wide variety of education and skill programs. Mr. Pradhan was addressing the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit virtually today. In Nagaland, top leaders of all political parties held extensive rallies across the state today. Addressing a joint rally of NDPP and BJP at Tuensang Sadar, Union Home Minister and senior BJP leader Amit Shah said Nagaland witnessed massive peace and progress during the NDA rule. He said steps have been taken to restore peace in the northeast. Mr. Shah promised to increase the cap of Ayushman Bharat from 5 lakh to 10 lakh rupees if the NDPP-BJP alliance retains power. Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge addressed an election rally at Dimapur. Mr. Kharge alleged that the NDPP and BJP governments only looted the state. Mr. Kharge promised to provide 3,000 rupees as old age pension per month in Nagaland if his party comes to power. Polling for 59 assembly seats will be held on the 27th of this month. The BJP has already bagged one seat uncontested. In Meghalaya, inclement weather in Shillong marred the electioneering of the BJP today, while campaigning for assembly elections is in full swing in the state. Senior BJP leader and Union Home Minister Amit Shah could not address the scheduled public meetings as his flight could not land at Umroi Airport. Amit Shah is scheduled to address 2 public meetings in Shillong this evening at Gorkha Pathshala first and then at Golf Club Field in support of BJP candidates. Speaking at the Gorkha Pathshala meeting, party national spokesperson Sambit Patra said the BJP government at the centre is working hard for peace and progress in Meghalaya and the northeast. He further said for the first time in the past 7 decades, the central government has come to the people of Meghalaya and is spending 5,000 crore rupees on developing national highways. In a major crackdown on gangsters working in tandem with terrorist groups, the National Investigation Agency NIA today conducted raids at 76 locations across 8 states. During the raids, NIA seized a large cache of arms and ammunition and cash of over 2 crore rupees. The raids were conducted in Punjab, Delhi, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. The agency said these raids focused on arms suppliers and hawala operators. Working with these gangs led to the recovery of 9 illegal weapons, including pistols, revolvers and rifles. Incriminating material, including documents, hard drives and mobile phones, were also seized. The Directorate of Revenue Intelligence has seized over 100 kilograms smuggled gold worth 51 crore rupees in Golden Dawn operation across the country. The Finance Ministry said in a pan-India operation, DRI has busted a gold smuggling syndicate of Sudanese nationals operating through the Nepal border. The seized gold was brought to Patna through the Indo-Nepal border and then transported to different parts of the country, largely to Mumbai. In the present operation, Golden Dawn, DRI has arrested 7 Sudanese and 3 Indian nationals so far. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Russian President Vladimir Putin today announced that Moscow was suspending its participation in a major arms control agreement with the United States. The New START treaty is the last remaining nuclear arms deal between Moscow and Washington, and it was extended for 5 years in 2021. The treaty was signed in Prague in 2010 and came into force the following year. It caps the number of strategic nuclear warheads that the United States and Russia can deploy and limits the use of missiles that can carry atomic weapons. Speaking in his State of the Nation address, President Putin stressed that Russia was not fully withdrawing from the treaty yet. He said Russia should stand ready to resume nuclear weapons tests if the United States does so, a move that would end a global ban on nuclear weapons tests in place since Cold War times. Mr. Putin has addressed the nation as the first anniversary of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine approaches on Friday. President Putin also spoke at length about the Russia-Ukraine conflict. He blamed the West for escalating the tension in the region, saying the U.S. and its allies sought limitless power. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden will give a speech in Poland later today after yesterday's high-stakes visit to the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. President Biden will hold talks with Poland President Andrzej Duda at the presidential palace in Warsaw before making the speech. During his visit to Ukraine, President Biden promised Ukraine $500 million in fresh arms and unwavering American support. The death toll in the fresh earthquake that struck Turkey's southern province of Hatay and northern Syria has risen to 8. Nearly 300 people are injured. Turkey's disaster management authority said nearly 300 people were injured after a 6.4 magnitude earthquake struck the region again on Monday. The earthquake was reported just a few weeks after a strong quake of 7.8 magnitude claimed lives of over 45,000 people in both countries. Indian educationist and social worker for the promotion of indigenous languages in Odisha, Dr. Mahendra Kumar Mishra, was conferred the International Mother Language Award by Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in Dhaka today. Dr. Mishra is the first Indian to receive this award. Dr. Mishra has worked for over 3 decades on the language, culture and education of the marginalized languages of Odisha. The award, instituted in 2021 by UNESCO, is given in recognition of the extraordinary contribution to the preservation, revitalization and development of mother languages. Speaking to Prasar Bharati in Dhaka, Dr. Mahendra Mishra said that the award is a recognition of the marginalized languages, which will provide the speakers of these languages an identity in society and the world.
ये पुरस्कार मेरा नहीं है, हमारे देश के वंचित भाषा जिसको कि निरवता की संस्कृति में थे, उन्हीं लोगों की भाषा और संस्कृति आज परिचिति मिला इस अवार्ड के कारण। मैं आभार हूं कि हमारे उड़ीसा सरकार को, भारत सरकार को और बांग्लादेश सरकार को, जो कि उड़ीसा क्षेत्र दिया, और बांग्लादेश सरकार मेरे को और यूनेस्को, ये दोनों मिलकर मेरा इस काम को सारे दुनिया में परिचय दिया।
Union Home Minister Amit Shah has wished the countrymen on the International Mother Language Day. In a tweet, Mr. Shah said this is the day to make a resolution to connect with our mother tongue and make it more prosperous. The Home Minister said all should take a pledge to make maximum use of their mother tongue. The first G20 Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors meeting will be held in Bengaluru on the 24th and 25th of this month. Prior to this, the G20 Finance and Central Bank Deputies meeting will be held tomorrow. It will be inaugurated by Union Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur. Addressing media persons in Bengaluru today, Secretary in the Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, Ajay Seth, has said that the first Finance Ministers and Central Bank Governors meeting under the Indian presidency will discuss a wide gamut of issues related to the shared global economic challenges of the 21st century.
इस मीटिंग में 21वीं शताब्दी के जो हमारी चुनौतियां हैं, अभिवृद्धि के संबंध में जो चुनौतियां हैं, उसमें देश एक दूसरे के साथ कैसे काम कर सकते हैं और जो मल्टीलैटरल डेवलपमेंट बैंक है किस तरह से उन्हें तैयार करें। दूसरा कि जो मैक्रो इकोनॉमी है उसके बारे में जो चुनौतियां आ रही हैं उसमें किस तरह से नीति के स्तर पर समन्वय किया जा सके और हमारे शहर हैं उन शहरों को किस तरह से ट्रांसफॉर्म किया जा सके कि वो सस्टेनेबल सिटी बन सके, उनकी फाइनेंसिंग कैसे हो, किस तरह की नीतियां बने।
President of the Asian Development Bank ADB, Masatsugu Asakawa, has said despite the disruptions caused by the COVID pandemic, India remains the fastest growing major economy with expected 7% growth in the current fiscal. Mr. Asakawa today met Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in New Delhi. Young Indian shooter Rudraksh Balasaheb Patil won the gold medal in the 10-meter air rifle individual event at the ongoing ISSF Shooting World Cup at Cairo in Egypt today. The 19-year-old Rudraksh defeated Maximilian Ulbrich from Germany with a score of 16-8 in the final. Croatia's Miran Maritic took the bronze medal. This was Patil's second gold at the ongoing competition, having won the yellow medal in the 10-meter rifle mixed team event with Narmada Raju. Earlier, Rudraksh qualified for the ranking matches after finishing 7th in the qualification round with a score of 629.3. After finishing in the first position in ranking matches, Rudraksh qualified for the gold medal match. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Government announces release of 20 lakh tons of wheat from FCI for sale in the open market to ease prices of the grain. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges citizens to participate in Best Tourism Village competition to promote local art and culture. Production of high-end pharmaceuticals and medical devices being stepped up to reduce import dependency, says Union Minister Mansukh Mandavia. Russia decides to suspend participation in new START treaty for nuclear arms control with the United States. And India's young shooter Rudraksh Balasaheb Patil wins gold medal at ISSF Shooting World Cup in Egypt. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.gov.in and News on AIR app. That is all in the news at 9. Good night.